Hello. Now, what am I going to speak to you about just now? Hold on a second while I put this down. Wings. You might have noticed that there's a big difference in different types of wings. Now this is a wing for a glider, and it's called a high aspect ratio wing. Why is that? Because it's high, it's long and thin. You compare it to this mini bolero we've got on the wall. Now that's a short stubby wing, and that's for manoeuvrability. It'll manoeuvre really easily. You'll notice the big ailerons on the wings. That is another sign that it's going to move. It's going to be highly manoeuvrable. Now, what is a wing made up of? Basically, this is a built-up wing, and it has components that put it together. It has a leading edge, it has a trailing edge, it has ailerons, these are the ailerons, and it has things called ribs and spars. Now this is a spar, this is a bit of wood. If you can see that, we'll come in a wee bit more. I don't know whether you'll be able to see that, but from their end, from the leading edge to the trailing edge, there's a bit of wood that's shaped in an aerofoil section, and that's called a rib. The thing that actually carries all the strength of the wing is called the main spar. Now, I don't know whether you can see that, but the main spar runs right along the main thick part of the wing, right up and into the other side of the wing like that. Now, a lot of the wings have reinforcement in them. You'll find there'll be, like, if you've got a couple of wings to join together, there'll be a carbon fibre tube in there. There'll be maybe a aluminium tube to join the two wings together. This is a solid wing just now. This is off the Coyote, and it's basically a gliding wing. The Coyote, you can build it either as a glider or a motor glider. I built mine as a motor glider. But also you'll see, maybe if I hold the wing in front of you like that, it's got a very gentle V that runs up that way, it runs up that way, and that's called dihedral, and that makes the airplane more stable, simply because if you were, it lowers the centre of gravity a wee bit, and also if you yaw the aircraft like that, it presents the wing that's leading and it lifts the wing, and it's the same on the other side, so it actually makes the aircraft more stable. Right, so that's wings. Now, you'll probably also notice the shape of this wing. This wing is what you call asymmetrical. It's flat on the bottom and curved on the top. Now, the wing on Bolero that's up there is actually curved on the bottom and the top, and it's symmetrical. I'll just bring it down. And you see that's that. You'll see that's a symmetrical wing. It's the same underneath as it is above, and it's both curved, and that's so that it can fly upside down, and the wing works the same way. So how is that? And you can see also on this one, you can see the ribs on it, and you can see where the main spar kind of goes as well. This has got a aluminium tube into the wing to reinforce it. Right, we'll just put this down here, just that. Now, how does a wing work? Well, we touched on this earlier on. It's basically the airflow over the wing. Basically, it speeds up over the top and it stays the same underneath. As it speeds up over the top of the wing, the pressure drops and you get the air, you get the wing sucked up, it lifts up. Also, a wing must be presented at the airflow at an angle of attack. So say you could actually fly a completely flat plate. If this is a bit of cardboard, it's completely flat, it's got no profile, but I can make it lift if I give it a wee bit of angle attack. If I go like that, you see that lifting? And it will lift. And that's the same for all wings. All wings are presented at an angle of attack. And that's why the symmetrical wing will work. You'll get the effect that it's lifting along. As you push it through, as the air goes over the top of the wing. Right, so that's basically how a wing works. Now, as you're flying along, if you were to slow right down, you would have to pull back on your elevator to maintain height, and that increases the angle of attack of the wing. And it gets to the point where you're flying so slow that the airflow over the wing actually detaches and you get what is called a stall. And what will happen is you'll be flying along like that, you're going too slow and it'll dip like that and it'll drop down. And that's what you call a stall, when the airflow over the wing stops working. So that's a high aspect ratio wing. You also get things called flying wings. And this is a flying wing. It's from Crash Test Hobbies, and it's an Assassin. And it's very simple. It flies really well. It's got a nice little motor on it. I'll come forward and you can see, there's your receiver, there's your speed controller, there's your motor, two big ailerons, two servos either side, and they are really very economical to buy. They're very easy to build. It's just a matter of super glue and a bit of epoxy to join it all together. It's got a reinforcement right up there. That's a rod, a carbon fibre to give it strength, and it flies brilliantly, and it's a good load of fun. It flies on a 1300 battery, and you can get a good 6 or 7 minutes flight out of it. Right, so there's another thing that's super critical to your actual flight, and that is propellers. Now, propellers are designed, they're just not flat bits of plastic. They're actually designed, if you can see that closely, you see how that propeller is designed. It's almost like an aerofoil section, but close into the hub you've got a high angle on the blade, and out of the tip it drops, the angle drops. That's called washout. But how it actually works is, this is what you call a 13 by 6.5 propeller for an electric model, and for every revolution that propeller goes round, it will screw itself through the air 6.5 inches. Right, okay. Right, what else is really critical to models? models are really, you have to set them up with the centre of gravity in exactly the right place. Now, this is another model that I keep coming back to because it's so easy to see everything on it. Again, this is a, I would call it a fun flyer, or it's almost like an indoor flyer. But as I say, every model you've got to set up the centre of gravity. How do you do that? Well, the centre of gravity, if you can see on this model, it's between a third and a quarter back from the leading edge of the wing. Now, that's, if you can get your centre of gravity to within that quarter to third of the way back from the leading edge of the wing, chances are your model will fly pretty well. If you're setting up a model for centre of gravity, always have the battery in it, because that's the weight that's on it, and always try and set it to what the manufacturer actually says. If the manufacturer says it's got to be 100 millimeters back from the top, from the leading edge of the wing, set it to that, because that's the only thing you can go on. Now, how do you actually find the centre of gravity? Well, I've got it marked out on this model, and if I was to put my fingers just there, you'll probably see that that model is sitting very flat. That's balancing. Now, where's that balancing? You can see the actual, I've got the centre of gravity marked on it. There is a way, the technique for finding the centre of gravity is to turn the model over, like so, and balance it on your fingers, like that. And that way you can find the centre of gravity. And I think that centre of gravity is just about in front of what I would call its main spar. Again, this is reinforced with carbon fibre. It's got carbon fibre rods in it, and it flies pretty well at the centre of gravity being there. You can do it the right way up as well, but you can see if I was to move my fingers back, whoop, move my fingers forward, the tail drops. If I move my fingers back into the centre of gravity, the nose goes right down. If I put my fingers right back, it pulls the nose down. But there, I've got my fingers on the centre of gravity, and that's the airplane balanced. Again, it's between a quarter and a third of the way back from the wing. Now, you'll maybe see I've got something else marked on there called a centre of pressure. Now that's where all the air forces, as the air goes over the top of the wing, it creates lift. But it doesn't create lift right at the front of the wing. It creates lift quite far back on the wing. And that's why I've got that mentioned. It works, the forces work their way through a centre of, well, almost like a centre of lift. And that's why you have a wee tailplane at the back, because you get a turning force like that. The centre of pressure is actually behind the centre of gravity, so it's tending to push the nose down. So what do you have? You have a tailplane, and the tailplane produces just a smidgen of downforce. Right, so well, that's about it. And then you'll say to me, so where's the centre of gravity on a flying wing? Well, the centre of gravity on a flying wing is probably quite far back, and they're probably at the same point is the centre of pressure on the wing. So all wings have this centre of pressure that the forces act through. Right, so I think I've baffled you enough with science for that.